that looked really fun. Coding it looked like a nightmare.
It looked like that would break down the tediancy of a lot of that stuff, sure. But it didn't look very clear about what it's
because the main thing about is that the Overstim Sim, the game that I've been working on for, I did take like a year-long break from it, but still. The main reason that game isn't done when I have like all the code for it done is because I've been burnt out with just having to draw so many human sprites. That's honestly the biggest problem with this freaking game is that it's all just now I have to draw these sprites and honestly I might just try to reuse some of them.
Oh yeah, that's the most common tactic. Yeah. Or find out a way to generate a base game. But that would imply you have a lot of sprites to make.
And that's yours. This is the player is the same.
When it comes to like the bosses and stuff, I do tend to like try and reuse sprites there. It's just the problem is more so it's just different characters.
Why don't you just trace over it? Just use the other one, and then you want this guy to be a different color. Just trace over it with a different, or just paste in a different color of skin and call it good.
You are making me feel like I really wish I was that smart.
Are you doing pixel art?
No.
Intro.
Okay.
So
Alright guys, I gotta do the intro real fast.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do the intro real fast. Guys,
Hey.
I'm doing the intro real fast. I gotta do the thing. Alright, so, are you good? Alright everyone, welcome to Tulsa Game Devs.
Hello.
Hey, cameras running, cameras rolling. We're here thanks to Techlahoma and the University of Tulsa. University of Tulsa is providing us with this space that, what do you call it, at Razor Hall. So if you're wanting to come in person, come to Razor Hall. So thank you to University of Tulsa. The news is we went to Tulsa Gaming Con, and it was a lot of fun. And there are currently no upcoming events for the year. And there's a reason for that. We're trying to come up with new things that will help the community, and so we're going to come up with some of those today. But first, since we had the Tulsa Gaming Con, I'm going to do a recap of it. The first one is we did the Unreal Arcade game, and that wouldn't have been possible without Ava. Since you're actually here, Ava's on camera. And then Nate, who I don't actually know Nate's last name, I just know he's Nate that does art. And then Nate McKnight helped with some of the, I don't know how to say his last name, but he's also a Full Sail grad, that's how I know him. And he worked on the project. And then Dave, or just Dave is fine, in the Discord. And then people that showed up, we had Glenn showed up and showed off some of his game, so shout out to Glenn. And then Aaron showed off, hold up, Conflict of Interest, you can wishlist now. And then Dakota showed up, his game is not on wishlist ready. And then Aaron showed up, and that is for Animal Game, so wishlist now on those. I'll put the links in the bio thing or whatever. And then my sister Amanda came out, and she also helped clean up and stuff like that. But then Adrian came out. Not only did he help clean up whenever we were leaving, he helped man the booth and did a bunch of art and programming and a bunch of stuff on the arcade game that we worked on. So shout out to Adrian.
Yay. Woo!
Yeah.
VIP Adrian!
And so, that was the main stuff of what happened at Tulsa Gaming Con. They had a major marketing problem, and so there was supposed to be 2,000 people is what they promised were going to show up, and maybe 300 people showed up. It was a really fun event, and a lot of the, actually every vendor I met was actually really cool. So you guys would have had fun, but it definitely had the smallest amount of people we've ever had at any convention, and it really sucks because they were packing a punch with a bunch of games and stuff. Yeah. And then things to go over. So I said we didn't have any events coming up or anything like that. So some suggestions that were brought up, and then I'll open it to the floor of who wants stuff. As a group, do a movie night where we just say like, hey, we're gonna go to this theater and get tickets and go see a movie together. If anyone's interested in that.
What's upcoming that y'all are interested in seeing?
I mean, I'm gonna end up just listing like a kids movie, and I don't think a lot of people.
What are you talking about? I'm going to Ninja Turtles this weekend. I want to see Kiki's is getting released in theaters again.
Ooh,
I'm
In
going to
IMAX.
Ireland soon.
Iron Lung.
I don't know if I've seen. I do want to see. I was gonna say if
Yes,
Iron Lung.
there it is.
I would say if Iron Lung is still playing, I would love to like. If Iron Lung's still playing, I would love to go see Iron Lung.
Alright.
I will need. Yeah, I will need someone to like. I will not go see it alone though. That is the kind of thing I'm gonna have to. I so badly want to see it, but I also know it's not gonna be good on me mentally.
Okay. Or you could.
I was thinking about watching it this weekend. I can invite everyone.
I'm booked up beyond all belief this weekend.
No,
It's more.
that's fine.
Yeah, but if you're wanting to do something like that.
Is
Spring break.
oh yeah, actually, you know what? My fiance Erin is coming up to visit this weekend. But if we can't do this weekend, that's fine.
My thinking is I'll just pick a movie and be like, I'm going to this one, and then whoever wants to go can just go, and that's kind of the idea. And I'll just post it in the Discord. Or fun events that aren't stressful is what we're going over. The next one is just a co-working night where it's like we just find a place and be like, all right, we're gonna go meet at a library and work on stuff and / playtest. What we used to do, and I want to implement somehow again, is when we're at the other location, we would go out to eat afterwards after the meetings because it was like, oh, we got to do this, but there's not really a bunch of options around here. You got
11th Street.
I know, but like Mother Road's closed. Like a lot of stuff's really expensive. Also, I was trying to find
Downtown was expensive.
downtown was expensive.
Chicken and
There's a
Wolf
lot of
still
good
here.
stuff on 71st Street. I was
Yeah.
actually thinking of going by this place called Tea Swirl Crepes, either tonight or with Erin over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a crepe place nearby.
Yeah, it's right next to Freezing Cow.
Okay.
I don't
Next
know
to
what
the mall.
You haven't been to Freezing Cow gets a lot of love because when we were doing
Never heard of Freezing Cow.
it's where they chop
so
the ice
good.
cream up in front of you.
Oh, there's.
And rolled
we,
ice-
we
rolled
have
ice
one of those here.
Yeah, it's at 71st Memorial. It's been here.
So
So
I've been there like a million times.
yeah,
It's
we
really good.
celebrate, like if we finish a big project, we'll go to Freezing Cow, or we've done that. But also, whenever we were doing the Circle Cinema one,
They let us
us
put a flyer up on the counter
for, like,
by the
over a
cash
month.
register. Yeah, so we advertised one.
and a lot of people saw it. And they're like, oh yeah, we saw Freezing Cow or whatever. So like Freezing Cow gets a lot of love, and yeah. Shout out Freezing Cow at 71st Memorial. Not sponsored, but you guys technically sponsored us in a way. So, all right, online playtests and offline playtests. So this is what I was thinking. You okay?
You okay, buddy?
I don't know.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, welcome. You were from the Gaming Con, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome, come on in. All right. Online game tests, play tests, where basically a developer will give you a build and then you guys can play over Discord and stuff like that, is what I was thinking. So you can kind of get an idea of like, oh, this is working or not working, and stuff like that. And then online or offline play test where we basically just say, hey, we're gonna meet up at a library this day. You come bring your project and have people play it. Whatever way would work. Do people have like a preference, or do you guys need play testers, or are you like, that's not helpful right now?
I think it's a good idea. Sounds fun.
Okay.
I think doing it in person would be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So focus more in person for that sort of thing.
That would be my preference.
Okay.
I'd like to do more in-person stuff.
Okay. Were you about to say something, or you got it?
I'm just thinking like go kind of in and all. The thing about in person is that I always feel like I have to say something, but I can also see how people are reacting to different aspects of the game. And I also know that online there's definitely like you can definitely like if you're on the same chat, the same thing applies that I'm saying, but
Okay.
I don't know. There's just something
You
special
can
about
see people's faces.
yeah.
That's cool. All right, so open it to the floor. Is there any events or anything like that you guys were like, hey man, it would be helpful if we did this, and that would help get the community together, or I was thinking of this.
it started off as like you're gonna do 3 arcade cabinets for the, what was the name of the event, Tulsa
Yeah.
Gaming Con, and then it shrunk down to 1 arcade cabinet, and then it was just 1 Unreal game.
Mhm.
I think the idea behind that was good. I mean, maybe the 3 arcade cabinets was a little too ambitious.
Yeah.
But I think the idea of having some community game project that everybody is working on and contributing to, maybe on like a yearly cycle. So like you like establish that Tulsa Game Developers is going to work on this for the next year, and then at the end of that year you release it, and then you start showing it off at the conventions for the next year.
Mhm.
But like it's branded as like this was something made by our group, not any of our individual LLCs, or it was led by one person. It was a group.
Yeah.
So we like brand it as such that this was done by Tulsa Game Developers.
The quick answer is yes.
Do we intend to bring? Yeah, the arcade cabinet is still assembled, right? Like, do we?
I have like a TV, a tower, and 2 controllers.
Okay.
So
Essentially,
no
but they're
cabinet.
like game pads. But the actual building of it, I don't have the space for it, and just lugging something like that around to conventions, like I'm already running into space issues. Just being like, hey, like if we had to go to SoonerCon, I'd have to leave the arcade cabinet and take everything else. If I did.
What would you need? What all would you need to transport it to SoonerCon in theory?
A truck at least and stuff like that.
What's the dimensions
Okay,
of
how
this?
about
Yeah,
with
how
it-
big is it if we
We
need a truck?
gotta change it.
But
Oh,
volunteer-
you're
I can
talking
volunteer
like,
my
oh
truck.
wait, you're talking
an
like
arcade
a,
cabinet.
you're
Like,
talking like a pickup truck. My mind was thinking like a giant U-Haul.
Yeah, when I thought arcade cabinet, I'm thinking like the ones that from Walmart was selling. Like,
No, like
They make like tabletop arcade.
Yeah, we
that's
can do a
like half.
tabletop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know those. Okay, well, okay, so if we can't do, and hypothetically, if we can't do a truck, how much would you need to bring it around within town?
I have to like, I need to get a different, smaller monitor and a bunch of wood and stuff like that. And TU owns the Fab Lab, and I was gonna build the cabinet stuff there. We also need like an actual project to put in it. So like we have the one Unreal game. But even that, I wouldn't leave it a place because we don't even have it set up for like a 1-player mode right now. Like we would have to go in and be like, okay, we need to build AI, which doesn't sound like it would take long, but it's like, okay, we got to move on to other projects
Right.
and stuff like that. So after doing the event, what I realized would be more beneficial is instead of focusing on one cabinet that had a bunch of people's games, is have little setups where it may just be a laptop and a keyboard or something like that. Buy that can run someone's game. So if it's in, hey, welcome. So like example, hey, welcome.
Welcome.
Similar to how a cabinet would work, but not just Tulsa Game Dev, make it more like sponsored by the game. So like example, you have an animal game, right? So we would make an animal game setup that we then put in a case that we can travel with, and it also have the monitor, the computer, all that stuff, but also it's also recording, just so you know. What do you call it? Clouding. So an example, if we put a monitor here and people come up to it, we need something to like raise it and then also like cover it up in cloth or something like that so it looks more appealing. It doesn't look like, hey, I just put a bunch of textbooks under there and a monitor and stuff like that. And so we want stuff like that we can all put in one kit. Do you know what I'm talking about? Clouding
You
is
lost me.
Clouding is when you get like say I get like a phone book to make the monitor go up higher, but then I put a tablecloth around it so it looks pretty. So like when you go see a display, and they're like, oh, we're selling this. They have just a bunch
okay, I
of
see.
junk underneath.
Yeah, so
cloths.
it's like a white cloth.
It could be
So
white.
it looks
Oh, I
like
was thinking
cloth.
purple since everything else seems to be purple and black.
so you're wanting a computer for every game?
A setup. It doesn't have to. So like example, Solos is on the Xbox, so I had the Xbox out there with that. So whatever device you would like. So if someone's doing a mobile game, it would be nice to just be like, hey, here's an old phone, put it in like a stand case, and we could just leave that stand there that way, whatever people are working, because the issue we ran into with the cabinet was people were like, well, I gotta make it, but I gotta make it work with the stick, but I don't get the right stick, and then I have these buttons, but I actually need to use a whole keyboard. And so for doing those sort of events, we want something that's more open. Or do people think like, okay, I know I'm going completely 180 on the arcade project. I mean, but that's why we do these sort of events to be like, okay, what worked, what didn't work. The other issue we ran into was, say, everyone's game was out there, and we have what, 8 games out there in the world, and we have 8 stations. Well, as soon as 8 people show up and start playing, we run into the issue of like, we're just gridlocked there. Like only at one point did it happen at Tulsa Gaming Con, but they were also super, there wasn't a lot of people that showed up. But we had a point where someone was at every station and someone had to wait their turn. So we also need what I'm calling sponsored zones, where we get like an old N64 GameCube that has 4 controllers. You set that there, put Smash Bros that have that, and then you say, hey, this is sponsored by Tulsa Game Days, and follow us for more, come learn more information, whatever. But then that fits 4 people at one station instead of while they're waiting on other stuff. Because as we get more booth space and stuff like that and more games, we need to be able to handle the overflow and keep people at the booth, whereas people will see stuff and be like, all right, I want to go. And whereas where we seem to fit the best is people will be like, okay, I've looked at all the stuff to shop, I just want to sit down, I want to have fun. And so like on day 2 or 3 of a con, that's when everyone's just kind of sitting around and they just chill by our booth. And so we want to make sure there's enough stations and works for that. So does that sound like the right approach, or should we focus just on our own games?
Sounds like a lot of a space issue.
It's a space issue. Like when we go to like the crappy cons where we have one booth, then we're only gonna be like, hey, we only have this fun. But this one, I had 3 booth spaces.
Oh, well.
And then if we would have got a SoonerCon booth, it was the same size as these 3. We couldn't have filled that up. Like we would have just been at a gridlock. It would have been like, okay, all the computers are filled up, no one can do anything.
Yeah. No, if you have enough room, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as you said, we are a relaxed station at the end of the day.
And we're not selling anything, so people are just kind of chilling.
So having even more things for people to do is a great idea.
Yeah.
I think also just to keep, if you're worried about things clogging up and new people can't come in and play the games, so just put a timeout on every game. So like after 15 or 20 minutes, it just kicks you out back to the main menu, and there's maybe somebody standing by to kind of help guide that person away and let the next person come in. If there's there seems to be like a traffic jam.
Yeah. The quick answer is yes, that is right. But like, if I just have a PS4 and they're playing Any Saves the Galaxy on it, like we just
like after like 10 levels, then
we'll just be like,
kick
okay,
them off
you
and
gotta
say, okay, who goes back to the main menu or exits out of the game or something.
But a lot of times I don't even have like you'd need a special build. Or
yeah, you would need to make a
code or
special
something.
build, yeah, or just have a program running in the background that would kill the game. And
Yeah.
It would also suck for somebody that's whenever we're not busy and that person gets booted out of the game, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe you could talk
Have a
about
way to toggle it.
Yeah.
There's probably I like the sponsored gaming thing because I think that draws people in. But is it a bad thing if we have people waiting to play our games? Like some people, like sometimes restaurants will have a line on purpose or clubs or whatever because it makes you look more popular whenever people are walking by in a convention space. Like that must be cool because everybody's waiting in line.
More people playing games would
then
be
how
the same
much-
effect, wouldn't
But
it?
then how much
Yeah,
waiting is
I mean,
too much waiting?
I think we could also solve this by having more multiplayer games in general because that's
Yeah.
like 4-person per setup or 2 people or whatever instead of.
Yeah.
Have we made any multiplayer games that would be for like a 4-controller setup that could be?
Dave has 4-player co-op Sophia.
Oh, okay.
That's the closest, and we brought out 4 controllers at one point and tried that.
But I think the other thing that solves this is something we've done in the past where you do like the scavenger hunt or like the bingo board or whatever because that's a set like I have to play this game for like 10 minutes to achieve the goal and then I have to go do the other one or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
like,
should do that
push
again.
people through setups naturally.
I think that works in a non-con environment.
Yeah, true. We probably don't want to fill out the whole activity at a con maybe.
What I was doing, because Elliot,
Or it
Griff,
helps
thank you.
when it's set up between everyone in the con.
Yeah.
Because it encourages people to look at multiple boards, because that's that's what made that bingo board work the most, was that it was collaborative between everyone that was there.
It could work at cons if we have connections at those cons and we have collaborations.
Yeah.
Like a guy who runs a Digimon stand, you could add that to the list of go speak with the Digimon guy.
Yeah.
And so then we can get traffic to him and get his traffic to us, vice versa.
That does remind me, the last con I went to, there were actually like, I believe three stands. It wasn't like a game one, it was like a cosplay, meet up, all that. There were 3 booths selling stuff that did actually have like a collab thing going on with each other. To where, I forget what the benefit was, but you did get, either it was a discount or some like special little thing if you did something at all 3. So it is possible to, if you get enough connections, to set up something between multiple booths.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think the other thing we could do is have like a prize wheel situation or something where like if you achieve an objective, you could just spin the prize wheel.
Yeah.
And you can do it on every game that you want to, or you could just do it on one.
We should have a prize.
And then the
wheel.
prize wheel is just like Steam codes we want to give out or whatever of our game.
Yeah.
What about leaderboard also?
Yeah, leaderboard would be good. That's game themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those are flashy and can be placed well above the booth area, so it wouldn't be in the way of anything. And people can see it from far away, so you can be like, oh, that
Give
got me
one
my
of
high
those-
score.
Give them
We
those
could
boards
rotate
that have
around,
the light
have a big
bulbs
monitor
around the
too.
edge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Make it loud and obnoxious and everything.
Everyone in the neighboring vicinity of our booth's gonna hate us.
You won MonCon! Yeah!
I did want to give a shout out. Elliot did give out a bunch of keys for.
I did?
Yeah, you gave us.
I wasn't there. I don't know how much
Yeah,
you
so
got rid of.
anyone that sat down and played a game for over 5 minutes, I tried giving them a key. And then by day 3, everything was gone.
Nice.
So
Good.
hopefully people got them after the game. I have no idea.
I haven't seen anything. I didn't see a big spike in traffic, but I'm glad you got rid of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if there wasn't a huge, I don't know. Hopefully you do see a spike soon.
Thanks.
You may have not played it yet. How long ago was it?
Like a week and a half.
Week and a half.
I mean,
I wanted to go to that convention so hard. It's just I completely forgot, and then I learned like 2 days before, like the thing's about to start, and I'm like, oh crud, I don't have anything.
Sounds like I was
Yeah,
working
you
on
had the
that.
arcade game there.
Yeah,
Your name was in the credits, shown every like 20 minutes.
I mean, I wanted to bring something else. Like, I wanted to bring something with that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was.
Anyone that showed up had never played Over Simpson.
He's been playing this entire time. You got 3,000 points.
Okay, so
There was also school like grading stuff, so that also made.
I
it
wasn't saying
fun.
like you had to come or anything. It
No,
was more
I
like
know.
You had enough there that if you would have showed up,
It
you
would have
would've-
been
you would've
different.
been okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was just there was a lot of stuff going on. All the factors just meant.
Okay, so I have a long shot idea, and here's what it is.
I love long shots.
All right, what we do is we're gonna go around to all of the mom and pop places that we could convince to come to a con. So, like example, there's a bunch of card stores and stuff around town. Go to them, say, hey, can we do one night where we come to you guys, and we're just gonna show off our games and let people come by, but we're gonna advertise it and build that up so it's like, oh, it's like a rolling event that we keep doing where every month, or the goal would be to do it like every other week. And it's like, okay, bring your game here. So there was a bunch of people that had, they do Magic, like there's Dragon Slayer, and then I forget the people that I met while we were there. I completely forget his name, but he's at 71st and Lewis. If you guys want to look for a Magic the Gathering card shop, they seem like they have a good supply. All right, so
Does it begin with a C?
Could we
Covenant.
advertise a Wizard Asylum on the 71st?
well, I mean, yeah, we could reach out to them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
They're really nice over there. I talked to
Yeah.
them a
Oh,
lot.
I've been to them before.
So-
I just like started. I was trying to build like a deck, and a random guy just came over and started giving me magic cards to like fill out my deck.
that's cool.
This was like so many years ago, and I still haven't forgotten about that.
Here's a 1/1 creature. Here's a
So
1/1.
the idea is get all of them and then get like, okay, there's games being made here. There's also games e-commerce, so you have board game places where people go to that. You have games being made, games being sold, trying to hit all of those. And so I bought the domain for a website called The State of Games. And so the idea is we would do a developers conference in Tulsa, but it's the state of games, meaning Oklahoma, where we bring in all the people from Oklahoma and be like, oh, it's the state of games. But also we're trying to turn it into the place where you make games, or the state of games, because this is where you go if you're going to make games. And so that was the long shot. And so basically meet enough people, show that there's actually an economy here of not just video games, but also board games and things like that. People developing them, people buying them, stuff like that. And then talks on how to grow everyone's businesses and stuff like that. So it'd be heavy on board games at first, because there's so many board game shops, but then also heavy on video game development.
You know, it would be interesting is TokenCon's actually happening, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting as you could, granted I don't know if it's easy to like convince people when you're like just one of the participants and not actually holding a booth, but.
Yeah, but you can reach out to, like, a lot of the people that run that con are friends with the people that run Tulsa Gaming Con. And they know the people from Tokyo and Tulsa. And then they have similar vendors, and we're like, hey, trust these people, don't trust those people, to go to these locations, don't go to these locations. Like example, I'm never, for right now in my life, I mean, but I would say I'm never doing one downtown, like an event. I would do something closer to like the Marriott, like that. It has a bunch of space, a bunch of parking, and there's food nearby. Yeah. Whereas if you drop a bunch of, kids, if you will, at a gaming con downtown, there's a Domino's. Is the Subway?
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
That's like, I've seen it done before where it's like there's a thing going on at a con and everybody draws something and it goes into a finished product.
What's this full shirt? I know I'm getting distracted, but I just saw Trivia Murder Party.
It's Jackbox, one of the Jackbox games.
Is it? No, I know that much. Was that like an official shirt?
I think so. I don't know. Someone gave it to me.
Really cool.
Okay, so I screwed up. I didn't turn the power cord on. So it killed at some point. I have no idea when. So
We have to start over.
No. I mean, we can't.
Tell us your ideas
exactly.
Yeah, do the intro when we're done.
Yeah, do the intro again.
I'm good.
We're here
So
to
that was all my main stuff. Is anyone stuck on anything to talk? Alright.
I'm just more deadlocked with my assets, but that's all on me.
I mean, do you need ideas? Do you need motivation?
Motivation.
You got consistency?
Huh?
do one thing a day.
What are you working on each day?
Surviving.
Okay. Do you have, what time of day do you work on your game each day?
That's why do you think it's taken me like 5 years to make this thing when all I have left to do is art?
Art's really hard.
Just do one art piece a day. Try to reserve 15 minutes to bust something out.
I can try.
Should we set a reminder every day in a Discord?
Spammer? Yeah.
We make you do it, and then it automatically, you put in like what time of day you work on your project, and so it does a, hey, at Ava, you need to do this. And then but we're all watching, and so we have to ask, well, Ava, did you do it? Show us what you did.
Yeah, he needs to add a new group that says for Ava. And
Yeah.
if we don't see an art piece uploaded, we're going to spam it by 10
we're just going to call you and be like, I don't care if you're at the movies. You get home.
You get home and draw something.
Ironically, that would work.
It's just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I've actually been learning.
So for me, it would probably have to be upgraded from 15 to 30. Just knowing me, because.
We're going to break it down even farther.
I've actually been trying to learn guitar lately, and the way I've been trying to do that is like whenever I see the guitar in my bedroom, I just pick it up and look up a riff from a song I like. I actually just learned Celebrity Lifestyle by Swans this weekend. It's actually a really simple one that just goes on for most of the song.
That's a good strength though, because the motivation tends to come afterwards. So like if I force myself, I
but then I start working on something and it turns into 2 hours or whatever. So
Yeah, whenever
you gotta trick
like get
yourself.
into your flow.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do too.
For me is to go somewhere else.
I'll do like one piece of something, and if I like it, then I'll keep going. Or like if I'm feeling kind of stuck on it, I'll get it to a spot where like I can come back to it the next day, like do some touch-ups, you know, like just hit it piece by piece if I'm feeling it. But if I'm not, like I'm not gonna, you know, half butt it.
Yeah.
So
Mine is consistency. You gotta just have, okay, I opened it once a day. And the easiest way I did that was, if you're in, are you in Windows?
Yeah.
Are you in Windows? Alright, go to your startup settings and then add the project file to, it's not the startup, you go to like app something, like you have to go to the little run feature and then you type in a command and it shows all different things and just make a desktop app for it or shortcut and it'll open whatever shortcuts you put in there automatically. And put your project in there, so as soon as you turn on your laptop, the project's already open, and before you can say, so you literally will be like, oh, I want to go to YouTube. Just kidding, I have to close out of my project that I know I need to work on and admit to myself that I'm not working on it today. That's way more of a consistent thing that you're saying, hey, I'm just gonna do 5 minutes, then I'll open YouTube. I'm gonna do 5 minutes, or I'll leave it in the background, I'll close it later after I've done it.
Yeah.
Oh, great, Unity's starting
I
again.
made a lot of good progress over the summer, honestly. If it wasn't for that whole craziness, I feel like I probably would have gotten a lot closer.
Is anyone else stuck on their project and you're like, it's just not moving forward?
I have an idea related to that. I don't know if we want to do this or not, but I was kind of thinking on the way here it might be fun if we had a time. It's like set time of meeting, kind of like we do this where we see if people have problems, or we just do quick project updates. You know what I mean? Like, what have you been working on? And that way it's a sort of soft social pressure for people to be like, all right, I know I'm gonna have to share what I've been working on.
yeah, you don't
Like,
want to
you know? And so, like, obviously, this is a supportive environment where we want to hear what you're working on.
Or
what
no
you're
one's gonna
interested
show up
in.
next month. Be
But
like,
also,
"I'm
if
not-"
you're like, I didn't do anything, you kind of didn't do anything for 2 months in a row, then we're gonna be
We
like,
publicly
why aren't
shamed
you
them
doing
with
something?
rocks.
Yeah, public shaming is good sometimes.
No, what happens is you have to open up your project right then, and we're all just gonna help you. We're all just gonna go around and be like, well, what are you stuck on? Show us. And then you just explain it out.
Great, 20 different answers.
So everyone will work on your project for like 20
I
minutes.
think generally speaking, people want to tell people about the project they're working on.
Yeah.
Because you spending hours in your dark room typing away on it or whatever. So to have a piece where we can all get to know each other a little bit more and learn about what we've done in the past month. Even if you're like, I'm not working on a full-time project, but I kind of like experimented with Blender a little bit, or just whatever you're working on, we can get the conversation going. But then also we can be like, hey, you know, I've been working on that too. Here's a good shortcut.
Yeah.
I think it would kind of foster that conversation a little bit, but it would also add that pressure to be like, I don't want to show up empty-handed to the meeting. Maybe I should do something real quick so I can share that I did something.
Yeah, he's 100% right, because back in the day I used to be like, what if I show off my project this month? So I better get this update published,
Yeah.
just in case.
So I'm gonna say a minute each. You guys cool? Talk about whatever project you're working on. If you're not working on a project, just be like, I'm not. I just showed up. This is my first time. Maybe that's not the issue.
It'd be cool is if everybody did a screen recording of their game for like a minute before
Show
coming
it
to the
to
meeting.
them.
Yeah, then just put it up on the screen. or
Yeah,
something.
like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm working on this inventory system, or hey, I made the walk cycle not shitty,
So
or
that way you
even
don't-
if it's just a little
yeah.
thing, like here's a little thing I did.
Then you don't have to wait for everybody to boot their laptop up and open the project and compile the game. You know, if you just have the video ready to go.
Okay. I'm gonna do a minute. I'll go first. Break the ice. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm working on this game since 2017.
Ooh.
Secretly, I've actually since then have shipped 5 games. While I'll be like, oh no, I gotta put this on. No, it's too big. I have made it. It's called Blitz. I've made it in first person, 3D space, and it's a team-based shooter. And then the goal is it's a different type of sports game where you have to collect balls that show up in these little dispensaries, and then you have to shoot them in goals. And it's not. So it's basically first-person dodgeball basketball. Something like that. So in the past 5 years, I've made a working prototype that was first person, then I did third person, then I recently did a 2D version where it's all a shared camera, and then I did one where you have an individual camera. And the gameplay play loop works, and I have a lot of stuff, but I keep getting hit on weird stuff. And the answer I came up with was I made a list of the 3 things that I was most stuck on, took out a little bit of money, and went on a place called Upwork, and then hired some people in the Ukraine to just do the features and see how they did it. And they did it in a way more efficient way and easier, like to the point that I was like, I'm an idiot. And so that's what I did, but for like under $100, I solved the problem that way, and so that's where I'm at. So I'm not actually programming. I reached out for help and found it.
You're delegating.
That's how you break through a wall. You bribe it out of
Yeah,
it.
so who wants to go next? You don't have to go, or is that kind of the idea? You have to go.
I think that's the idea.
I think yeah, we do like in a circle or something, so you know
All right.
you can't be skipped over.
Yeah.
You can't just say skip, I guess. I did an AI trainer for, well, I didn't do it for my job, but I did it with the data of my job, and I made a video.
Oh, it's a trainer?
training simulator
Yeah, it's that. I
designed
guess
to
it
help
might be the one I
train
saw it.
call takers for action without letting the AI invent facts or make grading decisions. The system uses multiple LLM roles, each with a strictly defined responsibility. There's a mock caller, a transfer center nurse, a tutor, and a feedback writer. Each role is locked behind a system prompt, and critical decisions like scoring and correctness are handled deterministically in code, not by the LLM. Before trainees are tested, they can learn through an AI tutor. The tutor is not freeform. It follows a lesson structure, tracks progress, and resumes where the trainee left off. The tutor is constrained to lesson content and checkpoints. This prevents hallucination and keeps training consistent. This model is optimized for clarity and consistency, not creativity. Not all questions are equally important. Some mistakes, like missing a priority 1 injury, carry more weight than others. For example, misclassifying a priority 1 injury carries more weight than missing a destination detail, even if both are technically one question. Each question is tagged with severity and frequency weights.
It's a long video. It's 3 minutes, but it uses more advanced AI concepts than AI prompts like I used to with the alien stuff like that. It uses the RAG system and different other
Is that
systems.
Unity?
Like that. Yeah, it's run through Unity, but I had to set up a server with Python that's disconnected from Unity, but Unity launches the server so I can get the RAG system. And of course, the LLM is just the API.
So you're using ChatGPT or?
Yeah, it's the cheapest and the most effective at the moment, really, for the price at least. But finish that up. Yeah, you didn't clap for him.
I'll let you guys can talk.
Oh.
Chandler?
What?
You're next.
We've been working on it. Then if you have been working on something, just talk about it.
Okay. Gaming project?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I've kind of been taking a I don't know, a hiatus recently, but I've always been thinking about cool ideas I have. I like keep doing that. I haven't stopped doing that since I've been in high school. But mainly, I've been doing on and off work on the Unity project. Are y'all still? What's going on y'all's end with that?
I don't know.
The arcade.
The arcade project.
Oh, no, not me or him.
You.
What do you mean?
What?
Or Chaz.
Chaz.
Oh, okay. Same thing as yours, based on a hiatus, I guess. But we need to figure out what's going on with the arcade cabinet
Yeah.
as
Right.
well.
Right. Because.
Obviously, it's not halted by that.
Yeah, I have finished another character in the work I've done over the past in the past month.
Oh, you pushed it to get?
Yeah, pushed it to my branch. It's the samurai.
Oh, it's not in the main branch yet, though.
Yeah, not in the main branch yet. I'm working now on the mage. I got their basic attack working. I'm just trying to figure out, because I'm trying to make an explosive projectile that is a projectile that explodes on contact and damages enemies within its radius. It's just now I'm trying to wrangle with the object pool to get it to spawn because it's derived as a projectile, but it's not explicitly a projectile as its own class. Projectile fireball. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. Do you have any advice for that?
You can just spawn in a new projectile. It doesn't have to be pooled, I guess.
Okay, just
That's
like
a cheap and dirty way about it.
yeah, it's a cheap and dirty way, but it bothers me to just
I
instantiate
could create
something.
another pool specifically for that type of object.
Perhaps, but I mean, there's only going to be like one object of that type, or a few, depending on how we use it. So,
I just already set up 2 different pools for 2 different things, so.
right. I mean, is it fine? Does it use more resources if the pole is if it's just a size 1 or a size 3 pole?
No, it wouldn't necessarily use any more resources. I just have to make sure the functionality is there.
Okay. Yeah, I can try. I can push what I have. Yeah, I can push what I have to my Git branch tonight and let you take a look at your leisure.
Yeah, it'll be about Monday, so I can take a look at it with you.
Okay. Oh. Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah. So I'm working on this jam called the Text Adventure Literacy Jam that's going on right now that closes on April 30th, and the aim is to write a text adventure that is suitable for beginners to the genre, and it has an in-game tutorial, and so I think I spend all my waking hours that aren't even at work, since I'm a substitute teacher, I'll work on it during when the kids start doing their stuff. And so I always find that that's helpful to work on that when I'm at work, because then it forces me to work. And I think what you were talking about, Daniel, is kind of I have to work on it instead of getting off into the weeds into something else that's maybe more fun to work on, like the design or the engine or whatever. But so that's what I'm working on right now, and I don't know if my submission will be taken or not, because there's a lot of requirements. It's got to be played in a browser, and it's got to be played. They have to be able to download it and play it, and so I'm able to do all those things, but I've never done it before, and I don't know if I'm gonna be kicked out or not. But I'm working on it anyway because it's what I like to work on.
Did you put a build up online and then we can put it in Discord so we can download it so we can test?
Yeah, so I can put a build on itch, and you can play it right from itch in the browser.
Okay.
And
What's your itch account called?
my itch name, I can post it in the Discord, but Candy64. Sure.
Yeah, post the link to the project mainly, and then also your.
And so
Just anywhere there's a general chat or projects.
the web front end is my least favorite, and it's the hardest to do. But the game engine is all the same. But so that's I can post that, and but I really like what I'm stuck on is getting kind of into the modern times, like with what I hear about working on here, like in Unity. I'd love to contribute something.
Yeah, because
But I don't even know what that means. I honestly don't know what I don't know with that.
Yeah, because you said you program mainly in C#, yes?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, Unity runs mainly on C#. The user-made scripts there. It what was it? So from there, it's just a matter of getting used to Unity's API, and there's plenty of documentation for that. Unity's probably about the most. What is it? The engine that has the most, or
Launcher and stuff? Is that what you're
Is that what everyone works on? Is Unity?
No.
Oh.
I mean,
He's game maker.
what I'm trying to say. Unreal. Unreal's taken a lot more market share in.
What does
the
everyone
past
work
years.
with? Unreal?
I do Godot.
But what I'm trying to.
I'm Unity.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that Unity has a lot of user support. You'll find tons of user-created guides and video tutorials on the internet. It's probably, it's probably tied with Unreal for that now. I mean, in years past, Unity was the most user-supported engine. So you've got plenty of resources to learn.
So is it like, does it clobber a computer? Do you have to have a dedicated machine for it? Because I don't want to like upset my other development machines. I'm afraid to put stuff on them.
The only thing I've ever seen affected in Unity, other than just performance with gaming, is build time. I've ran it on very crappy computers, and the only thing that's changed is that it takes longer to build the game.
Okay.
Yeah, could your computer run Dusk or Ultrakill? Yeah, then it can run Unity.
So I have 2 towers at home. One without a graphics card, which is the backup, just a build machine, and one with the NVIDIA 4090. So it should be able to. And I play Flight Simulator on it, so I think it should be able to play.
Yeah, it should.
Hey, don't clap for me. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. You're being creative.
That's the best thing so far.
No, your thing was cool.
So my name's Austin. I'm GeckoBot in the chat. I haven't been in the Discord. I haven't been in the Discord for that long, but I'm working on a 2D action adventure RPG, very Zelda inspired. But yeah, I've been working on it since like April, and it's my first game. I've learned a lot. I come from like a music and art background, so I just wanted to do something. It started off as like a side project, but it really like took over most of my time, and now I'm here. I have the first hour or so all the way polished as a demo on Steam, and I'm working on the next couple hours to have ready for Next Fest in summer. But most recent thing I've been working on, I finally got my like gesture-based magic going. So it's kind of like, if you guys ever played Skate 3, it's kind of like how you would do a trick on Skate 3 is how you would do the spells. But yeah, I did like a grapple spell, like a vine coming out of my character's hand, and you grapple onto a spot, and kind of like a hook shot in Zelda. And I'm working on all the like assets for like a forest-themed dungeon and stuff. So that's what I got going on. Yeah, it's pretty polished on the demo if you guys haven't taken a look yet. It's called Runic Winds. I forgot to tell the name of it. So.
You posted in the Discord, right?
Yeah, I
It
did.
looked pretty cool.
What shows
Oh yeah, you
up
checked it
were-
out.
Yeah, in the project board, right? For people sharing their creations.
No, we had something else.
We have a play test one, so if you want people to play it, test it, and give feedback.
Yeah, which section did you post on?
Did you post on the project?
Yeah, showcase projects.
Because
Yeah.
he asked me to post the. Sorry, Andy, right?
Yeah.
Or, sorry, Andy, right? That was your name. Yeah.
He asked for the link to the jam part of it. He said I should post it on Discord.
Well, no, to your itch page with your project, so we can test it out, make sure it worked online and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not competing in this game.
No, because you said you were nervous about it, so well, let's test it out. You can make sure we're like, hey, it's not, this isn't working, or fix this, you know. Or, oh, this game's amazing, and you know, you're probably gonna win. You know, that's probably what's actually gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I just got back from my dad's in Nebraska, so I'm kind of starting back up again. Did a few assets, but yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get the full like 2.5 hour deal going for Next Fest in summer. So.
You've already applied for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I missed the deadline for the first one. I was a little upset about that.
Now you only get one.
Mm-hmm.
So are you gonna release after that, or were you like, oh man, it might be later?
This is going to be the most advantageous time for me to do it.
Okay, just make sure.
Whenever I, drop the update for like the slow.
Have you already done Next Fest?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, that was just
That's
dropping
good.
the demo and the positive feedback loop of seeing shown it to more
Yeah.
people. It kind of died down since then, but
It will.
I haven't really posted anything on socials or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I try to do it in like big waves when I have a big update, and I'll post about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I got.
My name is Quincy. So I started messing around with Unity. I was just watching like some YouTube videos, and then I just got stuck on some errors in there, and just stopped working on it for a bit.
Now you hit your first wall.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know what to do from here, and that's pretty much it.
He asked if you were stuck on it.
I was afraid to speak up about it.
That's literally the point, because people will come here like, I'm stuck on this.
But it was basically like I just made a senator, and I was just trying to make it move, jump. It's something basic, pretty much. And I'm still trying to get used to like what everything is in Unity.
Right. I call it doing a lap around the engine where you, hey, what does this do? Let me try this. Let me do this. And once you've done everything, you're like, oh, I've done a whole lap around the engine. You know, I kind of have an idea.
Start combining things.
What my recommendation? It sounds like you just downloaded it. What,
Yeah,
a few months ago?
I think I got version 6.
Okay, so it's like this year.
Yeah.
Okay, I would make a list of 3 old arcade games that are like Pong or Tetris or something like that. Find someone that's already made those and has a tutorial and remake those 3 games. I would start with Pong first because that's usually the easiest. And then once you've done those 3 games and you're like, okay, well, this is how it worked in the original. Oh, this is how sounds work. This is how the score system works. This is all the logic. Once you've done those 3, then you're like, hey, I know how to make a game. It may not be like this crazy thing, and you know, it's not gonna be the next Final Fantasy really, but it's like, I know how to make the game loop. I can have someone play it and test it. And so, if you find something like that, then you, even if it was just a tutorial, like I followed this tutorial, have us play it, and maybe we might find a bug, or you just, you know, you made something and you have someone else play it. That's always really fun. So I would.
No, you're sorry, you finish up.
No, I was just gonna say, don't sit quietly. Like, hey, reach out. We have the Discord. We have the Unreal. I mean, the Unity channel where it says like Unity help desk and stuff like that. Totally be like, I'm stuck on this. Can someone help me? You know, don't feel like you're not. Oh, you showed up. So you helped me. So did you have something to say?
Yeah, I started off with a website called Udemy. It's a tutorial series website. Brilliant guy called Game Dev TV. They do a complete series on Unity, and you can choose 2D or 3D, and you can follow through a complete series that they make several different games, each increasing in difficulty, and they add more and more stuff, and it'd make the progress very easy and rewarding. That's what I might suggest. Because if I jumped straight into the engine like what you're saying you're doing, I would have been lost. Maybe even before you were. Like I did not know how to code or nothing, so making anything move was a tall order for me when I first started. But following tutorials is like you were saying.
Can you find
Put it
one
in
and
Unity what?
put it in
Unity Meet.
Udemy. Yeah.
You're in the.
UDE.
Are you Grin in the Discord?
No, I'm not in the Discord. I joined. I got Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
he
the
hasn't
Grin.
joined yet.
Okay, so the Grin
He's
person.
probably not coming.
Oh, is it one of the like, hey, I want to do this, and it doesn't show up?
He's an interesting fellow.
Yeah.
He's nice.
Oh, UDEMY.
Yeah.
There's no N. UDEMY.
So you know
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Udemy?
yeah.
He's gonna put it in the Discord. Let's get. I don't have any of the cards on me. I gave him. I got they're all at the thing. If you go to TulsaGameDevs.com, we have the. So we'll do the. I would do the Discord first because he's posted the link in Discord.
Okay.
Go to TulsaGameDevs.com.
Ignore the big price. They actually never sell for that price.
Yeah.
It's a thing that Udemy does.
So when you make an account, have your
This
credit
is
card
this one.
ready.
started on a few years ago called Shapeshift Sean that I released.
The second one?
Well, I released the first episode. I think I'm going to downscale my original plans to do a trilogy and package. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to package new levels into episode
The
one
first one?
and just scratch out the part where it says episode one.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I mean it's been years since I touched it, and I've kind of lost motivation to do 2 more episodes. So I'm just going to cut my losses. The other thing I've been working on is I've been trying to force myself to get away from giant projects that take years to complete. And so last year I challenged myself to do a bunch of vertical slices, which is just like a rapid prototype for a few weeks and then hit some milestone and then move on to the next thing. So it's doing a bunch of different game engines and bunch of different genres that I had never tried before. So I've got a bunch of those kind of like in the backlog right now, and what I kind of honed in on is like, I kind of want to try developing this into something as I started making my own visual novel engine, but it's more flexible than something like Ren'Py where all you can do is just put still images on the screen, and it's a little bit more flexible. So I'm trying to do a visual novel where instead of when you get to branch points where you can instead of just having a character say yes or no or answer a question, you go into like a WarioWare minigame where whether or not you beat the minigame impacts the flow of the story. So that's
a lot better than saying yes or no, yeah.
What's that?
That's a lot better than saying yes or no.
Yeah, so I thought
like those Undertale events.
like Undertale, battles, I guess, yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been tinkering around with lately.
Nice.
Did you say your name?
Elliot,
Elliot.
for the record.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yay. Okay, so my name is Tyler Guy.
Hi, Tyler.
Tyler's on the Discord. And I mainly focus on 3D modeling. And I'm a bit newer to game development.
What are you modeling?
Lego.
Awesome. Nice.
Do you do the art meetups with Adrian
Yeah.
online?
I've done 2 so far.
Did you tell Adrian because you were there Sunday, weren't you, at the gaming con?
Yeah.
Did you say hi to Adrian and actually meet him in person? Or do you even know we were there?
I don't think I saw him.
Oh yeah, he was there. Well, he came in the afternoon. No, I just thought you were just a con goer, just having fun. I didn't realize you'd been part of the group already. I'm sorry with that.
It's okay.
So yeah, sorry man.
I probably should have said something.
I get being uncomfortable in public spaces, so it's all good. I get it. Did you have anything? Do you guys also have anything you wanted to show off today, or are you guys? Because I know you said your game was available.
Yeah, my demo's up on Steam.
Do you have art you'd want to show us with us?
I have a lot of
Then you're not an artist.
Oh!
It's part of the process.
Well, you must, like, my first, well, aside from, like, the one time I tried using it in high school, the first time I ever used Blender was weight painting.
That's a hard introduction.
Right.
Oh, actually, no, it was fun.
That's the first
But
thing
here's the thing, is you should also know was I had imported a custom Lego model
That's cool.
from something else, which meant that each item was either all red or all one or all zero, which made it, I would say honestly, a really good weight paint to start with. Yeah, because it was like either all yes or all no, and it wasn't very complicated.
Yeah, you didn't have to like gradients.
Yeah, I think if I had to start with gradients, I would have hated weight paint.
Oh yeah, that's how I was introduced to gradients, or how I was introduced to weight paints, and I like trembled in fear before it.
I'm still intimidated by weight paints. I haven't successfully used them. What's up, y'all? I'm Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
If you don't know me, my name's Aaron, and my game is Animal Gang. It's Pokemon, but with animals instead. What I've been working on.
You need to find a new phrase, by the way.
Yeah,
No,
that's my
no.
elevator pitch. It's just
It worked at cons, man.
Yeah.
As soon as you say that, you'll say that to anyone, and they're like, "I'm gonna play it."
Yeah,
There
no,
you
I
go.
get it.
It just worked on me.
No,
once it's released,
That's what
You
I
need
wish
to
I
avoid
could
a
put
lawsuit.
that-
It's a
Yeah, I wish I could
creature.
put it in
Hold
the
on.
description, but
It's a real life creature collector.
it is. It's a creature collector with animals.
Gotta collect them all.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to work towards a demo. So I've been polishing up and bug fixing the content that I have, like the first level so far. And so, yeah, really what I worked on in the past month has been fixing a lot of the like game breaking bugs that I put on a shelf, and then decide I'll do that later. And then Tulsa Gaming Con was come up, and I was like, I need to do it now.
And you forget about them.
Yeah, but like I guess in the past week or so, I've just been doing fun little polish things. Like there's like some gates in the game. I thought it'd be fun if they were actually you could push them and have physics. And there's like some balls and stuff around that like you can actually kick now and run over them. So just little fun interactive bits of the world. And then I've been slowly, whenever I have one of those like I need to do something and I'm just gonna spend 5 minutes doing something in my game real quick moments. I've been making little sprites for every animal, kind of like whenever you go into the party menu of Pokemon or whatever, has little sprites that represent them. So that have actually been really helpful because those show up now when you like target or something, it'll have the sprite next to it. So whenever you rename all your animals wacky things, you could be like Rex, of course, Poopy is the scorpion. Poopy 2 is the duck, of course. Because it has the little sprite next to it now. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. Oh, and just implementing a lot of the feedback from the con, really. We had one guy in particular that went through and gave me some like really good like QA feedback, and so I've been like, yeah, I should have the HUD blink when you're targeting and just stuff like that.
What art style is it?
It's 3D, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Have you found them making those smaller sprites being readable at a smaller scale? That's like a challenge or anything like that?
well, so this is the second instance I put sprites in. The first ones I have for status effects, and those are really not readable, so I
Right.
need to go back in and redo those, because I did those as like 16 by 16 sprites that appear over your HUD, and they just don't look great. But these new ones I did are 32 by 32, and they actually scale up pretty well, and they...
Have you tried just taking the 16 by 16 sprites and just moving it to a 32 by 32 canvas and stretching it?
I haven't like messed with it yet. but
That
that's kind of what's
works for me really well. If I
Really?
have something that is like showing up like weird or like an anti-aliasy, if I just move it to a bigger canvas and not even like change any of the ratios or anything and just scale it up, it usually looks better.
Nice, yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's me.
Hang on. Let me change out batteries. Then I got you.
Oh, I guess we're done. Oh.
Right?
You guys all want
I like your amazing digital circus.
this is Tony Green's wrist.
No,
I got
the
Rivet
pants,
Drone.
the pants. I thought I only saw the shirt and hat.
Yeah, I got Murder Drones, Amazing Digital Circus. I am a huge Gooch fan, as you can see.
Please, I'm still yet to watch the gun episode, so please don't spoil.
Don't worry.
I've been trying so hard to avoid frickin' spoilers for like the recent episodes. Doesn't help that I just know people who their way of like talking, their way of trying to like get me to watch it is by vaguely spoiling.
Yeah, I
Like there's so I'm like subscribed. What makes it worse is I'm subscribed to like the lead animator for that frickin' show.
Oh.
So I have to like every time he uploads, I'm like nope. But I don't like click not interested because I do want to see this guy's stuff.
So, you saying that about light spoilers, what I used to do if like someone was watching the show, I would just make up stuff and be like, oh, has this person lost their hand yet in the episode? And then we were watching a show called Game of Thrones. I was like, oh, are you at the part where this person loses their hand? Like, I didn't know that happened. I was like, dude, I'm just kidding. And then like 2 episodes later, he lost his hand. And I was like, that was a complete accident. Sorry about that.
Spoiled definitely for me that way when I was in high school. They just name, I wanted to name the character, but they were like, "Has this person died yet?" And I was like, "Spoilers!" And then they did die.
Oh, yeah.
And I was, "You ruined it for me." He's like, "I didn't watch the show."
More prepared you for it than anything else.
There's not like a whole point of Death Note.
Yeah, it's like the crucial like it's the twist, and I was like, "You ruined it."
So I haven't. Do I have to like introduce myself by name first?
Yeah,
Or-
name,
okay.
whatever you're working on.
Yeah, I'm Hannah. Still very much in the conceptual phase, like in just school and everything. Been doing a lot of programming, but not for games. I've been doing a lot of stuff with like microcontrollers. I've been learning about like terminals and wanting to make like my own pocket like Linux. So there's been a lot of shift away from games, but so I'm in a cybersecurity class. What I've been wanting to do is make a cybersecurity themed game, but take all the concepts I learned studying for my certification and take those as literally as possible. So for example, if you say defeat an enemy by deleting it, that doesn't actually get rid of the enemy, because what happens with memory is the computer, it only, that's a fun fact to throw at people. It doesn't actually delete it. You have to overwrite it. You have to overwrite it first.
It's so funny. Just like there's so many fun, like even just fictional standpoints you can do with that.
Yeah, and so
I'm back.
another thing I've done is I took a networking class, and there's all these different Ethernet cables. There's like Cat5, Cat5e. So I noticed the category is always abbreviated to CAT. So I drew them as cats. I drew each of them as cats, just based off of my first impressions of them. So like Cat 6A, it says it's used in medical buildings. So I drew it as a little doctor. And I want to take all these concepts and put it into a game. I don't really have like much of the artwork on hand with me. I do have like a small page for my, I guess, characterization of a rootkit that just kind of embeds itself really deep within the system, so that it's really hard to get rid of it. So he's this little guy with a drill, and he just embeds himself. I made like a Trojan horse. He's primarily he's very geometric. He's got like a little disguised mustache on him.
It's very Toby Fox.
Is it a horse?
Yeah, he's a little horse with a mustache. Then like rabbits that like populate on your system and like take up all the memories. They're like little bloat bunnies. But yeah, that's
Malware yet?
Huh?
You got one for malware yet?
Malware that's like all of these. Yeah, malware like that encapsulates everything.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very much still in the conceptual phase.
Curious, do you have any for worms?
Yeah, I did. I had one for email worms. It was like this little envelope, and like a little worm would just be sticking out.
I'm a little shy. Can I pass?
Yeah, just say your name and stuff like that. Maybe just be like, thanks for letting me read, or I don't know. That's all.
I'm Daniel. I'm primarily a web developer, but I'm very interested in game development and have made some web-based games. I'm also on and off working on a text adventure game.
Hey, cool.
Yeah.
And it's like Unity.
It's
Happy people.
Yeah.
Andy's work on what kind of text adventure? Oh, well, yeah, let's talk. What are you trying to use for your text adventure?
It's just pure Python. It has Pygame, but Pygame is purely just for the audio.
Okay.
It's a text adventure game that runs in your terminal with audio, so that's kind of cool.
That's
It has a self-updater, so you can check for updates and it'll update the executable and relaunch. That's pretty cool.
Can we further peer pressure you into showing it?
Yeah, just in case, I pulled it up on my laptop beforehand.
Because it's really cool.
Yeah, I even made a website for it, so you can download it from the website.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you did like all these terminal graphics, like the more advanced ones.
That's really good ASCII.
You underhyped yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I love ASCII art.
Yeah, this is like ASCII Art Central. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is in the browser.
That looks really nice. Yeah.
Thanks. And then the game itself.
Let's say you found the candy man. For other text adventure people.
Give it a second. There we go. There's the main menu.
Nice. Do you go to Atlas? I see your shirt.
I do. Well, I did. I graduated in December.
Okay, we're T3 right now.
Nice. And I can. There's actually a text-based map, which is kind of wonky, but it works.
That's cool.
And then you can. You can warp around to different star systems.
I can't believe you were trying to skip on it. That was awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't let this go.
And there's also real-time combat, which is pretty interesting.
Real time?
Real time.
For a text game?
Yep.
Wow.
So you use the number pad to move around to different places and dodge the bullets, and then you hold space to fire.
That's really cool.
And if you are about to die, you can hold escape and potentially warp away.
Cool.
That is so neat.
Yeah. Please send us the link. I really want to play that.
Alright.
So we got
There's a little more to it, but that's the gist of it.
we only have like 15 minutes
Hey, she
left.
did go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there? Did anyone else need help with something before we go out? So you said, because you didn't say anything earlier, so does anyone need a second chance on helping, or will we? All right, just leave here.
Hi. I'm Ava. And for the past, can I move this? Yeah, for the past. No, you can put it back on. I just wanted this off. For the past, I don't know, since like 2022, 2023, I've been working on a game called Overstimulation Simulation. I think 2022. 2024, I took a break on it, but in 2025, I came back and I started working on it, though due to issues, just family stuff outside of my control. Life kind of hit hard, and it was hard to find motivation to get on it, but I'm getting back on it, and so when I had stopped, I had been finally, through the 25 process, I had finally gotten all of the floor assets and, like, the way the game works is you walk around from room to room in different levels, pick up items, and talk to people. The tasks you have are randomized each time you enter. I had finished almost all of the task items that you needed, and finished all of the rooms. And the rooms were like fully laid out. The layout for the level was finished, as well as like a special mechanic that's like only in that room due to how big the map is. But I was stuck on the character assets, but I can happily say I've finally, I've finally started sketching them again, which is, yeah, I am going to need help making sure I stay on task, especially as I start being like, I don't like how this one looks, and redraw it like 15 times. But, yeah, I have hope for the future that I'll get this level done sooner.
What about your spaceship on the arcade project? Did you work on that also?
Oh yeah, I did. I made a 3D model spaceship. I guess I keep forgetting about that because that to me was just like a happy little break that I got to take between classes.
Mm.
Which, yeah, that was a lot of fun to make. Mm-hmm. Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
So, is everyone in the Discord then? Or it needs to be you're in, the I know Chandler's in. Chaz, you're in there, still, right?
I didn't leave the Discord yet.
Okay.
I just posted something and
I know.
didn't.
So,
I got that app I can show up.
I was gonna say, does anyone have anything you want to show off when you start? He's working on an app thing.
Well, I'm not working on it.
Or maybe you have the app thing that was kind of cool. I thought you said you were like.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, you give me.
yeah.
So we got you, and then Andy's got his project. You showed off your art. Is there anything else you wanted to show off, or are you good?
No, right now.
No, right now. Hannah, you got anything you want to show off? Anything?
Yeah, I have my cable cats.
Yeah.
The
So we'll just.
along with their descriptions and everything.
I think it'll be easiest to like. Let's start at Ches. We'll walk to Ches, then.
No, it's okay. We can start with him.
Or, there we go.
I mean, I didn't create
Awesome.
anything. I just wanted to show it off.
Yeah. It was cool.
That's cool.
Alright, we're gonna start at Austin. We'll go Andy and then Ches. So.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say, they've never actually told us what time we're supposed to be out of here or anything like that. I always put 8 because that was just habit, but I think we can stay after a little bit, so it's not like. But once the camera is done, then I'm gonna wrap it up and head out.
Okay.
So just do that. So we'll go Austin, and then do you want to go last? So then.
Let's see.
Either or. I mean, she's just sending me cats to show off. That's pretty cool.
No, that's I just pulled that from Google. I've got a fantasy fixation. Okay, so got my little executable with its own little icon, which is really nice. I thought that felt really legit.
Okay.
We're all watching it.
We have to get to the.
Oh yeah.
Visual
Okay,
screen.
so
Is the brightness on?
no, you're good.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. So it is really designed around controller. Keyboard is function.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, all the art and assets and music and everything is all me. So just starting a game here, I suppose. There's a like runic language that's basically just like a what do you call it? A cipher that's not
Substitution.
yeah. So yeah.
Is the T an upside down too?
The T is like curly on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
One thing I did forget to mention, the characters are all like pets. Like the 2 main characters are my 2 dogs, but like I have all my friends' pets and like all my family pets that have been,
Sounds like an animal game.
like an animal collection game.
Maybe you can get on that one
Animal
game
crossover.
Maybe you can play
Oh,
Animal
true.
Fest, Yeah.
Yeah, I was denied from Steam's Animal Fest for Animal Game because there wasn't enough animals.
So in the design, I kind of wanted to do, you can see it's kind of like tilted down at a 60-degree slant there. Yeah, did like some Dark Souls like area nameplates and stuff.
What kind of dog is
So she's a pit bull terrier mix. She's more terrier. I got a little picture up in there. So we got stamina, health, mana, classic. Stamina is green. Jars can be broken. Got your inventory, equipment. wheel here. And I do have alerts for everything. That was the main thing.
Those look extremely polished.
Thanks. The frame rate, for some reason, on like laptops isn't the best, but you know. But yeah. So we got our little healing item. Kind of works like an Estus flask in Dark Souls. But I want to get to the main little gameplay loop here. So you can chain attacks. It uses more stamina when you chain them. But you have to like get the timing real right. I like to say that I'm the best Runic Winds player in the world right now.
Just give your game 5 minutes after release and they will be
Right. I have actually had a few people put gameplay videos on YouTube, like totally outside of me. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we got the pause menu, got equipment. I need to kind of polish the way that it gets equipped. But you can also.
I'll be honest, that forest thing, that go back to the inventory.
Yeah.
When you went to equip. Yeah, for some reason in that one, the forest knife boots is really hard to
Yeah.
read.
So the problem is kind of like what I was mentioning to Aaron. Yes. Hi. The fidelity sometimes is kind of weird whenever you have pixels. So the option is either have everything snapped to a pixel grid, which I do not want to do. It makes everything real jumpy. Or kind of have to like scale things up or down. So there is still some UI polish and stuff that I need to do. Just like some layering stuff. You can see how that kind of like jumps around whenever.
Oh, I thought it was moving, like there's
Yeah.
something inside of it.
And see, that's just kind of the nature of like how the pixels are being rendered from Godot. Pardon my obnoxious enemies here.
Honestly, if those eggs keep jumping and you don't fix it, you just make it into their lore.
True, like they're jiggling.
Well, I was gonna say like that they're alive.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that's a little checkpoint there. So if you guys are familiar with Elden Ring, it's like a Stake of America. Like it's not like a full, like you can upgrade your stuff checkpoint, but it's just where you'll respawn. Got a little enemy gate there. So I have this like puzzle class that I have everything. So I have like switches, doors, and like enemy locks, and basically every puzzle item is like based off of those 3 archetypes. So it makes making new puzzles really simple. We'll just do this one more thing and we can move on. But this is the gesture-based spellcasting that I was kind of talking about. So I didn't want to have you just like press a button and cast a spell because that feels so boring and like overdone to me. I really wanted to like, because I really like wizards and stuff, and I really like Naruto, like the hand jutsu, like the seals.
Naruto's the best.
So I wanted to do something that kind of felt like that. So I made this like gesture-based system. So you hold down the trigger and you enter like what I call resonance. So you resonate with the spell. You cast it, let it go. So if you had like a spell that was like that, it would cast it. So you have to like.
Is that kind of like Helldivers as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally forgot about Helldivers. So true. I also have the spell book, so you can go and look and see what the casting is.
So how do you cast? Is it like automatic or?
So you'll hold down the trigger.
No, I mean, is it like if you have multiple spells, how do you say before you cast?
So I have a function that goes through and whenever I enter this state, it's checking my input and it's checking the input against a dictionary that I already have of all the spells, and it's just checking to see like did you put that right one in, and yeah, and design-wise, I'm not having anything that would be like bumping up against another spell, if that kind of makes sense.
I guess I mean, do you like is it like scrolling through it? Do you have did it tell you how to input it?
Yeah. So whenever you pick up the spell, it showed you the casting direction. So that little arrow right there is.
So it's just one up. Right?
Yeah. For the simple one, it's just up and like up, and it's gust. So it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's more like a utility spell. So you can see you're coming up to a gap here. Classic Zelda, you know. You gotta use it to get out of the room. stuff like that. Yeah, right now the demo that's out is like the first like 30, 45 minutes or so. So
That's a long demo.
Nice.
yes, like every waking moment of my life.
Really polished.
So I'm working on Game Jam. So I'll show something else I've been working on that's outside of the Game Jam because it's more fun. Because it's new. So there's this ghost story book written like turn of the century. It's public domain called Ghost Canon Barrack Scrapbook. It's a ghost story, and so I wanted to make a text adventure out of it. So I designed the church. It's set in a church, and I have the short story. It's like 500 lines, and so I wanted to make it into a game. So I started building it, and so just to jump right into it, your game is to go walk around a cathedral and take pictures of stuff, and so I'll start up. And so this stuff right here is from the book, and you know, this is the intro, and so it's just like a text adventure where you just you have to type in your commands and do look around and stuff. So right here you're on the castle grounds, so you want to go in anyway. So just open up the door and kind of go on in. But the thing that I think neat about this is
Hey, do you need the mic over there?
I put in the game itself the library location. So if you go to the library and you read the book that's on the table, you can actually just say read tome, but it's more fun because it's more fun to type everything because it's this is the book itself that the game's made on, so you can read the book if that's all you really wanted to do. So the short story's in the game. So if you want to start, it's
So you put the game inside the game.
the book inside the game in the library.
It's the game.
And so this is the actual short story that was written in like 1900. It's really neat. The language is really cool.
And you said you're making this for a game jam, right?
This is just outside of the.
Okay.
This is what I was kind of doing before the game jam. The one in the game jam is I'll load it up. It's kind of one that I built. This is called Escape from the Crypt, and it's a simple beginner text adventure where you have like kind of puzzles where you gotta go into a crypt and push buttons in the right order and get a key and unlock the door and go to the next room and turn the sundial to different directions, press a button, move on and stuff. And it's built in. It's a built-in game that I did a long time originally in this thing. These games export to your phone and you can play them in there.
That's cool.
And so if I wanted to send this to the phone, I would just export the file, upload it to the Google Drive, and send it.
And you can continue where you left off?
Yeah, you can save the game and start. So like if I went in to it, which one is it? Oh, I'm not reading glasses on. So there's a save function. So if I took the torch, there's one. I want to take it. I can go down. Up to light the torch. torch first because it's dark down there and you need a light. And so if I was down there and I wanted to save my progress, I'd just say save game. And it saves it, and then I quit. I go back to the main menu, and if I wanted to go back in, back to where I went, I would just